What's up guys, this is Astranox. In this Hero Siege video, I want to go over the Stormweaver with an endgame build. So I've got like my test environment set up to, try every class, with endgame builds basically. So I play, online seasonal content, but I want to find out, in endgame, who is doing what in terms of damage, survivability, and all that good stuff. So that's why I set up a test environment, and this video will be about showing you guys some gameplay, and then I'll show you guys the equipment, right? And actually, let's start with the gear first, right? Let's start with the gear. Actually, that makes more sense. So it's the first time I make like an endgame type of guide. And this is really, endgame gear, 5-star. There's one thing it's missing, and it's forging every pieces of gear. Of course, there's ways to increase your damage a bit further. I mean, not a crazy amount further, but this will be about using Lightning Surge on the Stormweaver. This is going to be a guide, and I'll show you guys the gameplay as well. So yeah, you can see like skill level 118, here 124. So that's pretty crazy. My Lightning Surge is hitting for almost 22 million. And this is 12 projectile, or maybe 1 plus 12. And each projectile is dealing 22 million damage, right? And I ignore well above 100%. The cap is 100%. But the gear is 5 stars, so like that's the thing. Endgame, you might end up with kind of like too much of it, right? So the really cool thing that I like about the Stormweaver is that the passives are crazy, right? The passives are really crazy, and yeah, I mean, look at this stuff. Here, mana cost reduction. I mean, with a lot of all skills, I mean, you're like cutting the mana cost in half, so that's just very good. This costs only 39 mana, so it would be costing much more. Gateway, I mean, that's your teleport, and the Stormweaver has an amazing teleport. You can see like it's ridiculous, right? Like 200% is I mean, as you can see, I'm going. You see the prospecting device. I'm going to the furthest, like the furthest of the mouse, and you can see here if I go corner, I reach my target. So that's awesome, right? And this doesn't have a cooldown. You can just spam it, right? So this is amazing because you pop it, and not only you're getting the lightning damage increase, but you're also like doing thunderbolts like super fast all over the place. It's scaling off of your cast speed, I think, because it says faster cast rate. I've noticed that it does get crazier with faster cast rate. So if you don't have the gear level like this angelic and unholy gear level, then maybe you want to go check my other guides for the Stormweaver. These will be budget builds. I go over like different gear sets for every kind of budgets basically, and that will get the ball going, the ball rolling, and then you will, start farming, and then you will eventually start getting some unholy and angelic pieces, and then you're going to be able to, slowly build your way to something like this, which deals billions upon billions of DPS single target. Single target is amazing on the Stormweaver, right? So as you can see, I'm not going to go over everything, right, like really in depth, because I've covered those things in my other videos. But you can see this aura is insane, and it works on your party. This is to go and get the Apocalyptic Thunder, and then getting Aftershock, because this detonates 30% of the time the targets, and that's an AoE. And from what I understand, it scales off of this, and the build for this is this, right? And you're getting +1 on your subs here because you have a charm that boosts Apocalyptic Thunder, and it's right there. Storm in a vial, very cheap one. Great way to boost these stats, plus get some extra juice on the Apocalyptic Thunder. So very cool. I've tried playing around with that, but like, you know, while leveling basically. And then like I stick to this because this has a like 2 screen away clear, and it's nearly instant, right? And it just feels great when you play it, right? You can see I'm gonna cast it. It's, I mean, here. Now, the thing that you might want to do is go into option and the opacity for self. You might want to reduce that because, like, if my poor eyes, like, this is too much, guys. This is too much flashing for me, all right? So I gotta bring this thing down, like, even 20%. I mean, it's 19, but it's too much. There's a lot of flashing near the start, so I gotta bring this thing down to like 8%. That's more like it for me. But as you can see, like, that's a lot of projectiles. Actually, these are not projectiles, so you don't actually need to get this powered up, right? I put 1 point in there. I don't even know. There's nothing that's a projectile. Even this is not a projectile. But if you decide to pop some storm bolts, you can build it to pack the monsters together with magnetize, you know, for crowd controlling, right? So that can get the benefit of this for a single point. It's fine, right? So I decided to go with the cast speed here because, you know, the crazy scaling of having so many all skills, getting additional plus skill loses a lot of value. So I'm like, let's go hard point into faster cast rate, and the Angelic and Unholy gear that I have doesn't have like a crazy amount of cast rate. And to be honest, on trade, like on season 8 in multiplayer, when I play my Stormweaver, I like to have a lot of cast speed, and I like to have like 300% cast rate, and that's only 153. That's good because when you have less for your device, it lags you, well, less, right? So that's the stats that I have. And something that I need to fix actually is to fix my resistances, because I need more ums actually in my gear. I need to actually, the gloves, I can drop the damage and put some to fix my resistances, or I can have better stats on my charms. But the thing is, this is going to be showing you guys the damage output, right? So I don't need to have this fixed up. And to be honest, you don't need to go full flow runes on your gear, because that's a crazy amount of investment. But it's really good to have, you know, 90% of your resistances, and also overcap them for like Amun-Ra, for satanic zones that have minus resistance. So you could be running the flask that has resistance increase. That could be a way to you know, kind of like go about it. All right, so I fixed my resistances. It's important because I've done some testing, right, as I was building the character and trying some other classes. This thing is crazy. So I saw something like a 5 to 6x damage, like after like maxing the resistances, right? Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of damage increase. That is probably the Angelic that I'm gonna go for on the season, you know, on trade. I'm gonna try to get this thing eventually. It will take forever, but yeah. Improvements for damage. This is not really providing you damage. I can get the 5th slot here, so that's some damage missing. Here, I really like these because when you're in game, you're just, you know, getting a lot of magic skill damage out of this, because this is 10%. 10% of your vitality, I mean, 612 is not bad. 10% of your energy, 1114, yeah. And then the last one is amazing, because like when you're running Grand Arc Wizard's Mantle, very expensive on trade. I mean, this thing you can get it like 5-starred with like Elementalist level 7. Well rolled, I've seen like maybe 250 million, right? If you're lucky, if it's still available. But yeah, it could run you. Now you might get a perfect one, or you can buy like a mirror, like a reflection of Terratil. You can copy someone's, like they might have like a mirror service. You can go on Discord, the official Discord, and some people provide mirror service for like one that's like perfectly rolled, especially also with one that will have like an amazing forge maybe on it or something like that. So that could be a way for you to min-max your damage. Now, as you can see, the mana increase roll is low on this thing, so there's room for improvement. I'll improve these things. I'll re-roll it a bunch of times, so the damage can be increased. Not only from forging every single piece of gear. You can pause over, like, if, you know, I'm going too quick. But as you can see, 5-star, like, it's a nice increase. I'm missing, like, better rolls here and there. Nothing super crazy, right? But it could get me some extra damage. The flask, I could be running 4 damaging flask, or the life one, I could be running the all resistance increase. Maybe I need that. Instead of running El Patreon's Madness, you might want to run the one that actually, this one. Maybe you want to run the Liquor Holster. That one actually activates all your flask all the time, and they have 125% power. So whatever you're getting out of your flask, you're going to get 25% more. So that's actually pretty crazy, right? But this is just on a whole other level, because, I mean, the thing is, your ring effectiveness are going to be, you know, your rings will be 25% more powerful. Now, it's an easy way, like Rakul's Ritual Band is just godly, because you can get this thing for like 15 to 20 million on trade softcore season 8, and then it will mirror whatever you have. So like this is going to be a high investment one that's like, I don't know, like maybe not startup, not properly rolled, like 100 million or something like that, right? So you put that thing up and, you know, easy peasy. But then you basically have 2 of this one running, and these are great because the Angelic are like universal. You can wear those on, you know, pretty much like most classes that are, you know, magical based. And yeah, this makes it even more powerful, 25% more. It doesn't scale with the star level, but you get flask kill haste increased by 25%. You don't need to start this thing up. The start up just gives you like more defense, but does it even give more defense? Maybe not. Like, it's a ways to star level this thing actually. Ghost Walkers, I'll play around with different things to like kind of like min-max the build, but like I want to go over like a lot of classes, and I'll be improving the gear to really have it like endgame. Might be building up the, you know, the fifth relic on every character as well. But this is nice because if you're running like 4 flask, no, you know, healing flask, the more cast rate you have, this thing almost gives you like 10% of your HP back when it triggers. So that's pretty nice, right? 8% trigger rate is pretty high when you have a lot of cast rate. So you can't go wrong with the Lost Wand with the Horn Mask. Now you can go with like Holy Bible for the 5th one. You could replace this one and put the 5th slot, like could have like Holy Bible. You could be running the Lightning Orb, right? The Lightning Globe. But if you're missing Lightning Penetration, right? Maybe you have a different setup. Yeah, the Lightning, what is it? Orb, and the Lightning Globe is the one that gives you like 5 lightning skills and like 30 lightning skill damage. I prefer all skills. I would run Holy Bible over that, like if you had to choose, because all skills is crazy with all the amazing passives that you have. The passives are just like, even the aura, like that's just some crazy stuff. Like it not only is boosting your skill, you know, all the synergy of your skill, which is in turn boosting your skill, but like it works on all the passives, and you have a ton of passives that are useful. This is not crazy, but you're getting 3 different stats there, right? And this also like more damage, like out of these, like this, when it triggers 30% on your kill, it triggers this. I mean, you're getting, you know, more damage out of that. You know, Thunderbolts are dealing more damage too. Like, it's just great, right? All skills is very powerful, very, very powerful on all classes. So that is the gear, right? And then the charms, well, you know, I could squeeze some extra stat here and there. Nothing like insane, right? This one's gonna run you like 2 to 250 million in trade. It's actually crazy, right? So yeah, I mean, this helm is just nuts. Like, after seeing the difference, but you have to counter the minus to all resistances, but still, like I would all my gear when I like, 'cause is very cheap, right? So like you put that thing on your character, and maybe you're not like end game, but like, you know, you're mid game, late mid game, and like you just put gear that have a lot of all resistances, and maybe you have like some forge here and there, maybe sockets that you put in, extra sockets, gear with a lot of sockets, and you like them, and like you get your charms, that especially the ones like with, you know, all resistances, you try to get some nice rolls, right? Like on your fulgurite, on your torch. Like I can improve this definitely. Oh, okay. Wait, I thought I had my torch rolled up. Okay, I need to roll my torch. All right, guys. So I pretty much rolled every class's torch shadow before I ended up getting a +3. So like along the way, I got a +2, a +2, and then I finally got the +3 with the worst all attribute and resistances. Okay, go figure, because I've been rolling these torches for a long time. Like, okay. We're back. So I got more skills, right? So the damage is, that's nice. 23.6 million. So yeah, I mean, you take this thing off, it scales like crazy. Like when you start adding more all skills, it's not exponential, but it's, I mean, it's pretty crazy actually. It is kind of like exponential. This is very powerful. This will make your subs, you're gonna get +1 on everything, so including the major one here. We get supercharged, right? So the build, I mean, you go for damage, right? You go for the burning here. It's a prerequisite, so you can also get gear that has like damage increase versus burning target. The lightning break is amazing, very important, right? Like every single of your lightning can do lightning break. So you're shooting like 12 projectiles at an 18% proc chance. It gets pretty crazy. This works on top of your ignore lightning resistance. This is boosting your lightning damage. That's like a multiplier on top of everything, and it stacks. So yeah, that's, you can get some very, very crazy damage going because of this. And we get some procs. Procs are good because procs trigger lightning break as well, right? So that's another way to get even more lightning break. And this is, you know, another proc which is more lightning break as well as damage, but really the biggest thing is getting more lightning break from what I have seen. And yeah, I mean, this is just, you know, arcing the projectiles is shotgunning. It's 12 times. I mean, it's 12 projectile. I didn't calculate them. It's if it's the original one plus 12 more. So it's, is it 12 or is it 13? I'm not gonna calculate it here in the video, but yeah, I mean, every one of those projectile is dealing that damage there. So that's very, very good. And yeah, those lightning break are happening non-stop. You got the chain lightning here, it's a synergy, that's a no-brainer. Plus you can get it to hit more targets, and yeah, I can bounce between targets as well. From what I understand, it's just great to max because it's twofold, right? It's the proc plus it's the synergy, so you can't go wrong with that. Now the Symphony of Thunder is a synergy, chain lightning, we're maxing that. And static shock. So static shock, as soon as you put 1 point in there, you can see here 23.6, take it off 21.3. 1 point in with all skills, or you know, N plus lightning skills, is multiplying the synergy, right? But of course the synergies are not that crazy, especially as you get to like very high level of gear, because look at the intelligence. Every single point is accounting for, yeah, you need nearly like 2 points of intelligence per point in static shock. Everything adds up really, but it starts to lose steam as you get a bunch of lightning damage all over the place, right? Its value is not as powerful as like the initial points you put in, or the feeling that you get while, you know, the scaling is very powerful, and you feel it more in early to mid game, especially while you're leveling up, compared to, of course, in late game with you know, best in slot type of gear. So yeah, you can drop this actually. I'll leave it there, so because if you use the Stormbolt to gather the monsters, this is a proc. This proc works off of this. And yeah, let's go for the lightning break once again. There's a boss. It spawns ads. They trigger the passive, which triggers the apocalyptic thunder. So that's another way for you to get some extra damage. But I'm gonna show the gameplay. I'll do gameplay, and then I'll do target dummy DPS real quick versus single target dummy. You will see the damage, because the damage is so high that the bosses just end up dying nearly instantly, so you can't really see the actual DPS, right? So it gives you an idea with like end game gear, nearly best in slot everywhere. Yes, you can still forge the gear to get some squeeze that extra bit of damage if you get lucky, or you purchase the stronger ones on the market, right? There's different ways to get some squeeze extra bit of damage out of the build, right? So yeah, really love the passives, and I'll do a guide for charge bolts as well. It's an amazing skill. To be honest, like, well, trying both, it lags a bit too much my device, but like I will try it with endgame gear, which will get super crazy, but without projectile speed gear all over the place, it's not gonna be as good as the lightning surge. But when you have super crazy projectile speed, and those things are moving like very, very fast, and it's getting like off screen, right? Like you can clear like multiple screens away from you. That's when it starts to become very crazy charge bolts. But before that, lightning surge, especially the shotgun of lightning surge, I don't think charge bolt will be able to get the single target damage to boss kill. Lightning surge is extremely powerful, extremely powerful. So yeah, I'll cover the the charge bolt in a separate video, just so you know. Okay, so that's the build, right? You can see that's my stats for spells, right? So you can squeeze more damage, because like you can go angelic gems, you know, one angelic gem and fill with chaos gem on the other pieces. The thing is, the Grand Arc Wizard's mantle, you don't have to go full flow runes on that. You can go all Sur. Now, if you go Sur, you can reduce your cost by going with maybe more Surs. You might want full Sur on Grand Arc Wizard's mantle, and then some Surs on another piece. But then I wouldn't go like on all your gear, because when you invest too much of one thing, then it loses value as you get too much of it. So you need to spread out like your across different stat line, right? So you get some angelic gems, you get some chaos gems, you get some Surs. So you can definitely put Surs in here, but the problem is you're gonna have minus maximum all resistances, and that's gonna mess up your survivability, because having like 60% all resistances is a big difference when you have 90, right? It's much less. Let's say you get hit for like 100,000 damage, magical damage. The resist will reduce that, like it's gonna be just 10%. I mean, yeah, that's maybe not the best of example, because you would get two shot, but it's not the case, because actually there's two layers of reduction. There's magic damage reduction as well as your resist. So if you can max this as well to like 75%, you can have some very crazy survivability for hardcore. So 100,000 hit, right, with 90% it will become 10,000, and then you have 75 magic damage reduction. 75%, that means you're taking a quarter of 10,000, so you're taking 2,500 damage, right? And then that can be reduced further with damage reduced flat stat, which you can get even with forge as well. So like in hardcore, there's amazing ways for you to survive. You can stack in multiple layers. Same for physical, with the physical damage reduction plus the armor, right? Together, those two layers, plus like they need to land an attack on you, which they might not be able to, because you might have very high defense, which I don't have here. It's not much defense what I have here, but like it's really, this class, this build is really about like taking out the opponent ASAP. And if it's going to be that, and if you want to go full glass cannon, don't go with flows, go with Surge, you know, angelic runes, angelic gem, chaos gems, right? And you're going to be able to do even more damage. But the damage is already super crazy. It's just that the investment with the flow runes is a bit too crazy. So maybe you're going to go with the Gabriel armor, and it's going to run you much cheaper, and then it's a different build. But I wanted to have the Grand Arc Wizard's Mantle, and I'll be trying a lot of different combination, you know, after this video with other class, be doing a lot of testing. So I'll revisit the Stormweaver, especially I want to do the Charge Bolt build with an endgame setup, right? But yeah, the setup is very insane amount of damage, right? It's overkill with the minus the penetration on the enemy's resistance as well. But I can get more sockets. I can forge all the gear. So like, let's say they all have extra socket, or like you're in trade league and you're like buying, you know, everything with extra socket, right? You can get a lot more damage out of the build. I don't know if you're gonna be able to double what I'm doing, but like, yeah, there's definitely improvement. The flask even, right? I could be running what is called death instead of the life one here. I could get some extra, you know, damage as well. And here I was testing this, and I need to get some more of the flask actually in single player. But yeah, like you could be running this all resistances one, especially if you're gonna, you know, if you're missing resistance, because you need the resistances, because Lucifer's Crown will be giving you like a % damage. And that percentage damage is like its own thing. It's like taking the damage after all your multipliers, and that's another multiplier on top. So that crown is insane. Like I said, I'm going to go for this angelic first, but this is running between 200 to 300 million on trade. Yeah, the best thing is to play the seasons early on, so you can just like, everything's very valuable, and stuff is not like endgame boss gear is not selling for like peanuts when you start, right? So yeah, the charms, right? I can get some extra rolls, like I said, but yeah, I mean, even the Steve one, I like the all attributes, but I need to play around with different options. Here I fix my maximum resistances to bring them to 90, but you could have go a different way here. You could go Forcer, you can, you know, you could go like 1 angelic, 3 Sir, 1 angelic, 3 chaos gems, like different ways to go about it. But I opted for survivability versus, you know, magic damage taken. This one is insane damage increase because all your sub will be increased, including the major one, the supercharge. Yeah, I can get better torch, right? So better stats here and there. Of course, you can get the 5th here, the 5th relic, replacing this for a damage one. So Holy Bible plus, you know, lightning globe, or you could go a lightning orb if you're missing, you know, lightning penetration. But like between this, you know, having these two, like 2 of them, because this copies, having this weapon, like it's a lot of minus lightning, actually minus all resistances. But like, this is nice. And like, you could even run the solar flare, it's called, a charm that has up to minus 35 lightning resistances. But if you have to run that, actually I would drop that because it has minus 75 arcane resistances, and I would just instead of running that, right, I'd be running the orb of lightning, so you can actually the relic instead. So yeah, that's basically the gear that I'm wearing, and the reason why I'm wearing them. These pieces of gear actually have a lot of stuff. Like, they pretty much have everything you need between like resistances, the auras, the mercenary. Okay, so the auras is that the shield here, the St. Tommy's Vibrant Aura, goes to 5, level 5 on this aura when you bring it to 5-star. And yeah, I mean, like, look, that's all resistances. That's for you, that's for your mercenary, you know. But mercenary, you shouldn't rely on that because you might be too far away. Some life mana replenish. Okay, the Holy Aura, that's from the mercenary. The mercenary wearing the Pearlescent Dream, can't go wrong with these boots. They're just amazing. It's helping you a lot, just extra damage, right? Mercenary is, you know, you don't want to follow this build. This is just for survivability. But the Crown of Doom is amazing, like an aura build, right? the Crown of Doom is very solid with the Pearlescent Dream. All the other pieces you can have something else. Don't follow this build, especially don't put flow runes on your mercenary like that. That's way overkill, I would say, unless you're like you want to blow that in season on trade. I wouldn't do it unless you're like, you know, way overkill with your currency. Like you're swimming in currency. That's not a proper build for my mercenary. I'll be trying different things out, but I just, you know, I was just running this. And also like the socket that are prismatic, the sockets that flash different colors, the rainbow socket, it's you're getting 50% more of your stats. So of course, like to really use them properly, you'd put the most expensive of your runes in there, like the flow, and not put like a bunch of jaws. But this is not the weapon for the merc, right? Like, so I'll be going over other options in a separate video, like a mercenary build video. But here, the mercenary for the points, 1 in everything, max this, max this, max this. This is the most powerful one by far, right? Then I would say, like, I guess the dodge, then the armor, and then you can either go health regen or full life steal and put the leftover in the other one. At this level in endgame, I prefer the health regeneration, but if I was in early to mid game, I would go hulking rage for like that leech, but it's already at a crazy level. So yeah, and I would actually get a solid weapon that attack very fast, that does a lot of fist damage, right? So the mercenary stats real quick, like, you can see that's the stat, like 90 R res plus the second layer of reduction 90%. So that's nuts, right? 100,000 damage hitting the mercenary will be reduced to, with the resistance like a magical hit, that's 10,000 from this, and then it's reduced down to 1,000. So that's insane. Plus if there's flat damage reduction, that's even more reduction, right? Same thing for physical, right? Like if let's say you have enough armor, which you could pump it up even higher, but it will take more damage from physical, right? Because 100,000 will be reduced to 10,000, and then it will be reduced to 6,000. But the mercenary still lives with like 20, 30, 40,000 HP, no problem. Plus the life leech, plus the life replenish. It's fine. It's fine. But the mercenary doesn't have 75% cap on the second layer here. They have 90%, which is just crazy. High amount defense plus the block, right? So survivability, especially for you as well. That's, you know, block. If they manage to get the hit in, then you can get some block. I'm actually kind of confused. How am I? There's a piece of gear that makes it so you cannot block. What is it? Why can't I block? What? I don't know why. Okay, I'll figure that thing out later. Okay, so now I went over the gear. I went over, you know, the charms. I went over, you know, all the skill setup. So yeah, real quick, like this, and then like this, and then this one, if you want to crowd control, get them together with the magnetize. So that's it. The passive, super crazy strong. I'm gonna show the damage that you could do, like how quick the bosses get taken out, right? It's pretty insane how fast it is. They just get disintegrated. Like literally, it's beautiful. And as you can see, it's a bit laggy. It's a bit laggy, especially if you're gonna have like a crap ton of cast rate. You're just going to be lagging quite a bit, especially when you're fighting like hundreds of monsters. I guess having better gear will allow you to it will actually allow you to lag less, because you're gonna take out the monsters faster, so you're not fighting them for like too long, which means like, well, it's faster. It's you know, in the end it's more FPS because they're getting deleted so fast. But yeah, you want to get close to the target, and don't forget to pop your cooldowns. And look at that. Okay, it's already switch phase, and then the end. Okay, so that's it. And that was auto reset between the battles. So pretty crazy. That's not even the real damage, right? So got some gear, maybe just ID, so you guys see what I got. But yeah, like the damage is way higher than that. That's not even the actual DPS that you're gonna be doing, right? Now I can show you real quick. You know, these Ruby Garrisons, you know, they're not the most profitable. I like to run them. Like in Inferno, I just like to run them. Like if I had this level of gear, I wouldn't be running that, to be honest. But I like to showcase the boss because the boss has a lot of life. Okay. Wait, how much? I thought... Guys, I didn't even pop my cooldowns yet, and the boss just got deleted. Alright? Just deleted. What was that? Last time... Okay, I think I fought the boss with a different class. But, like, the thing about the Ruby Guardian is that you can pop these... I mean, like, even with this gear level, you could be buying keys for, like, nothing. You might be able to get some actual pretty... Oh, that's a good one, actually. This actually... You know what? That's what I should be running on my mercenary. Because this is combat order up to level 45. That's actually what I'm running in softcore. That would actually be the armor that you should be wearing on your mercenary. Because the combat order, it doesn't scale with your all skills, but you get level 45 on that thing is it's like 60%, 65% life and mana. That's more damage. That's more survivability. So yeah, you could be running that, or you could be running the Rakul charm. Do I have it on this? I didn't transfer it, but yeah, you could be running that. So a bit more life and mana, but it's not. The Rakul one is pretty crappy. It's like a 10 to 15% increase. It's something, maybe 15% increase because it's combat order 8, level 8, which is not much, right? So that's a beast one, very cheap. You could like roll, like you could put like a bunch of jaws in there or some I wouldn't invest flows. Flows would be going into like either like a Crown of Doom, because like you can't go wrong with like one properly rolled with all the auras, or you put it on an angelic piece, maybe the shield, something. Or you, to be honest, like I'd be going with prismatic sockets, because the prismatic socket, those rainbow sockets, it's 1.5 the value, so the flows will be giving you even more, right? Like 50% more. So yeah, I like the Ruby Garden because you go in there and you're just gonna like one tap everything almost, it feels like, and you're like quickly popping these chests. Or to be honest, like maybe like you don't even need to like you know, kill the monsters. Maybe you just like, you know, you just go from chest to chest, pop the boss in 2 seconds, and that's it. But the keys can go as low as like, I've seen like 50,000 for keys, so that's pretty enticing, right? That's pretty enticing. All right, so real quick, I guess Damien, you can see how fast it is. Like you just go in there and like they got just get deleted off screen, and like even his, I didn't even pop my cooldown, but like you can see the damage. Okay, so it's a joke, right? It's a joke. So now I'm gonna show you the target dummy, you know, damage. I'll do a Moonroar in another video. I'll get like I'll min-max the gear even further. But now let me show you guys what is a single target damage. You've probably been wondering. I kept that for last, right? Here we go. That's with and without cooldown. We got the mercenary. The build can be improved even further, so like keep that in mind. So that's gonna be the single target damage. Look at that. Are you kidding? The bosses, that's why they get instantly melted. Like look at this. We're talking like over 100 million, billion. A big difference, a 1000x difference. 100 billion with a B. That is insane single target damage, guys. This is not multi-target. This is single target damage. I'd be very surprised if Charge Bolt build can reach that. And if it does, I think the device will lag out because the frame rate will drop because the Charge Bolt will be everywhere. And it's going to be so many projectiles. It's going to be crazy. But like 100 billion DPS? Wow. Okay. Yeah, over 100 billion. No buffs. yes, there's the aura running, but those are permanent buffs. There's, you know, as long as the mercenary is there, but you're in melee range when you're fighting. That's a drawback. You're not gonna long range that damage, right? Because if you do it from like far, let's say you're here. I'm not even running the auto aim bot, or the auto aim charm. That's like a aim bot. Yeah, the aim bot charm. That's the name. Look at that. You can see the damage, right? But like when you get in melee, that's when the real damage happens. Let me pop everything. You're gonna see how nuts this thing is, right? And the thing is, the charms can be improved, guys. So you can see the burst, it went to like 150 billion plus. So yeah. Yeah. So we're squeezing some extra damage, like 25-30% extra damage, right? It's something, but now the flasks, you know, they're over. But I really like how long this buff, this Symphony of Thunder lasts. You can have some decent amount of spell haste on your build. And the thing is, when you're in town before doing endgame stuff, pop it before you go down. And then when you're down, you can pop it again. So basically, you can have 50-second going of this thing. If you're going from zone to zone, because you're going to be one-tapping stuff, you can be popping this every time you run into a zone. Or if it's available before you go into the next zone, pop it. Then when it's, you know, when it's down in the next zone, when you wanted to have it available, like to use it again, then you pop it. It's great. I really like how long it lasts. Some skill haste could reduce it down to, you know, maybe down into the 50-ish second cooldown. So yeah, just an insane amount of DPS, just an insane character. Really love the Stormweaver, and that's why I wanted to like just go and really test out the character in endgame, because I had a feeling this character was going to be super busted, super broken. So I'm basically going to try to reproduce that on season. I mean, I'm working on it on season 8, and then season 9. I don't know yet. I'll be testing all the classes in endgame, and yeah, it's definitely a ton of fun. But yeah, the damage can be increased, guys. I'm pretty sure you could, if you tweak this, you could reach, especially if you don't go like 90% all resistances, right? You could probably get an easy 50% more damage, right? And then add all the forge, you could double this into 200 billion plus, I think. So yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys think about all that in the comment section. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all ya do. Peace out for now.